Alright folks, welcome to the ETC, the European Team Challenge. It's the penultimate race. We're with the GT Pro, with the big guys here, and we're in virtual Curitiba in Brazil. Sunny Brazil. Let me tell you about the weather today in real life Brazil. As I'm talking right now, the weather should be about 21 degrees Celsius, but there should be some rain today in Brazil. So, Curitiba it is, second to last race it is, and that means we're pretty much closing down the championship at this point. Let me give you, before we do anything else, a quick rundown of the points so far. With only 2 races to go, I think it's a good idea to have a look at the points that the teams have achieved so far. So, at the top of the table, it's the Roaring Pipes Maniacs with 329 points that they have been awarded in the last 10 races. 2 in Nürburgring, 2 at Magnekurs, 2 at Anderstorp, 2 at Donington, and the last 2 were also at a German track, and that was Hockenheim. And so today, in Curitiba, Roaring Pipe Maniacs are in the lead, 329 points. The FlatOut Club in number 2, 318, and that, guys, is really close on the heels. A bit of a gap to the next team, the Black Rebels, who basically host the tournament, don't they? It's Jose Estrada and David Garcia. They are the heads behind this tournament, and they're both Black Rebels racers. And then Team GG, that's a Francophone team, 262 points for them. GMT-DH Racing, they only came on race number 4 in the second race in Magnekurs, and already now they have 261 points, so they're about to eat Team GG unless Team GG can fight back today. And then my own team, Blue Flag Racing, in position number 6 with 222 points. And I must say, luckily for us, there's a bit of a gap behind us, and Amy Racing in number 7 with 154 points. The Burning Tires Italian team at 137 points, and then Degan Racing of Belgium in position number 9 with 117 points, and our latest addition to the grid, that's Torrent Motorsports, only participated in the last 2 races, if you remember. They have acquired 29 points overall, and it looks as if Precision Motorsports have dropped out of the whole affair. They still have only got 0 points, and so far I haven't seen a Precision racer on the track today. But we're in the qualification. I think we should have about 5 to 7 minutes of qualification left, and so let's have a look at the leader of the qualification at this point, and as we go down the grid I can introduce all the racers and the teams to you. So, Jose, my trusted cameraman, should we go to number 1? What do you say?
We are with Panu.
Okay, and that little sentence, we are with Panu, tells me that Panu Ronkainen, who has been the bane of the GT sports class, is a master of the GT Pro as well. And here he is in his GMT-DH Racing Aston Martin on the track in virtual Curitiba in Brazil. And he is leading the pack in the qualification, and in position number 2, we have a new face, though we can't see his face, neither his virtual one nor his real one. And it's the same car, it's the same skin, it's the same number, it's the same team as GMT-DHR, Mikko Korkiakoski. And from the sound of it, this guy is from Finland. And right here we see him going down the straight, which, let me tell you, in real life is exactly 1 kilometer long from where it gets out of the curve. And there he has set the fastest time. He's up to number 1. Position number 1 now from Mikko Korkiakoski. So let's move to position number 3. And in position number 3, another new face, new racer today for Degan. It's Tor Quolman. And if he has as much thunder as his name implies, we're in for some serious racing from the Audi R8. Tor Quolman here. Position number 4. It's Blue Flag's first racer, Mikael Larsson. So just to get this clear, not all the Larssons are intertwined in our team. They're not all brothers and sisters and whatnot. No. We have a father and a son, that's Christer and Christopher Larsson, and we have Mikael Larsson, who is no relation whatsoever, if I'm not mistaken. Right then, position number 5. It's Christopher Larsson, son, as I said, of Christer Larsson, and a very fast guy indeed. So 2 Blue Flag racers up there in the top 6. That, of course, makes me very proud. And position number 6. Another Christopher, but hailing from a completely different region of our beautiful world. It's Christopher Aponte, starting for the Roaring Pipes Maniacs, and well, I don't know exactly where to put down his country of origin, but he might tell us a little bit about where that is in the interview later on. Position number 7, the first of the FlatOut racers. They're racing the virtual Koenigsegg here, and it's Tom Ilsbrooks, who has been involved in one of the closest battles here, or in some of the closest battles on the track in the series so far. Tom Ilsbrooks for FlatOut Racing. Position number 8, and just as we watch him involved in a massive spin, my fellow commentator, my sometime fellow commentator, David Garcia of the Black Rebels Racer. That's another Aston Martin we see here in the yellow and white Black Rebels Custer colors, and sporting the logo of our trusted sponsors, the GameHosters.net. All right, and position number 9. And that's a new face, another RPM racer, though on my screen he hasn't got the right skin. It's one of the default skins for Ross Balfour. Must be a little problem with the skins here. I don't know what's on your screen, but on my screen it's a default. Anyway, Ross Balfour, a new face for us here in the ETC, and many of us know him from the race department forums, and if I'm not mistaken, he's also involved in the country league there, in the Nations League, in the Monoposti. Okay, Ross Balfour in 9, and then number 10. Henk van der Meulen, that's the second FlatOut racer at this moment in time, sitting idly in the pits. So he's either fiddling with his setup or stocking up on beverages or having a quick visit to the toilet. Number 11, it's the second Black Rebels racer. It's a new name for me, another new face today, and that's so brilliant because it's a team effort, the EDC. We have new racers in every single race. It is Xavier San Pedro, and I'm sure that pronunciation wasn't half correct, but maybe Jose later on can tell me how to pronounce that name correctly. Position number 12, the first dirty dozen then is full. Position number 12, it's the first of our friends of Amy Racing, and that is Graham Kerr. Another Aston Martin, this time in the gray and green colors of Team Amy Racing. Position number 13, yet another Aston Martin. It looks as if this is an Aston Martin Cup race here. It's the first of the burning tires in the race today, and that's Massimo Dalla Pellegrina, just out now on the front straight. Position number 14, the second Amy racer, Darren Gardner. Position number 15, Riccardo Conti, that's the second burning tires contender, another Italian bloke by the name of it. And in 16 and in the pits, Lucas Degan, the founder and the head behind Degan Racing. Position 17, the first of our Team GG, sorry, is the second of our Team GG, isn't it? I'm not quite sure. I must admit I have lost count a little. It's anyway Laurent Michelis, and he's just going through the chicane, and just to get this, and right now he's off the track, just to get this straight, there was talk on the forum before, and we've decided that we let the game decide, and the game unfortunately decides that you can do a heavy cut through the gravel there, but since it's almost impossible to release 90 minutes straight, we decided to let the game decide on what is a cut and what not. So if from time to time you see somebody going through the gravel there, don't worry, it's all in the game. And then position 18, That's Jose in the PSR TV car, position 19. That's me in the second PSR TV car, and that brings us back to the top of the grid. And still up there, it's Mikko Korkiakoski. And let me now quickly change on my screen while you still watch Mikko Korkiakoski to the timing screen to let me tell you about the times of these racers. Well, here I am at the timing, and it's only 9 seconds left of the qualifying. Korkiakoski in 1:12.902. Pablo Ronkainen down 1/10. Tor Kvalman in third, down 3/10. Mikael Larsson in fourth, down 3/10. Tom Isbrooks in fifth, down 7/10. Christopher Aponte in sixth, down 7/10 too. Christopher Larson, ooh, that's very close there. Only a smidgen, like 200ths away from Christopher Aponte in 7, and then Ross Balfour in 8, David Garcia in 9, and there goes the qualifying, and we're in the warm-up session. So, Jose, you have prepared a little something for the warm-up session today, haven't you?
Yeah, it's just a short video with some battles from this season.
Oh, that sounds brilliant. Tell me, when do we want to see that? Shall I introduce our listeners some more to the tournament, to the teams, to the track and whatnot, or will you start with the video straight away? You tell me what's what.
Well, I don't know, maybe we can watch the video and after talk a little bit about all the things that we expect for these last races of the season.
Okay, well then, let's have the video. If you are all set and ready to go, I am, and I will shut up, which is difficult for me, for the next couple of minutes while you guys watch a video of some of the highlights of what has been a brilliant ETC season so far. Enjoy. Set, and this might be the chance now for Leffler trying to move in. Nah, they don't touch. They're through, and Mehmet Arslan stays in front. He stays in front, but my God, what a fight this is. They're so close. It's a 90-minute race. They've done all of 12 or 30 minutes now, and they're slugging it out here for position number 4, 5, and 6. Very close now. Into start and finish straight. I probably wish it would be a longer straight. You could actually do something there. Left on the outside now. Left on the outside going into Sodra. And let's see who has the better speed coming out. Ooh, little touch there by Leffler. And he's passed. He's passed Mehmet Arslan. And Arslan seems to have lost a little speed in that move there by Leffler. So catch up to him on the straight. And Andreas Leffler. Ooh, bit of a punt there by Leffler. And that gives Arslan the chance to move in back. Lots of argy-bargy going on here. Left and out again, touching Arslan. That is very close racing indeed. And the next attack by Leffler. He moves on the inside, moving into start Kovan. On the inside, and he's passed Arslan again. And now they're moving into Opel, and FlatOut racer Ilsebrook still stays in front, but Leffler is really close. Oh, another touch there. Touch again. Going down the straight, and no, Leffler can't at this point try to move past Ilsebrook. And let's see if he tries another attack on the inside of Gislaved. They're out of carousel now. They're going into Gislaved. Arslan, ooh, and Arslan is off the track. Arslan lost it there. Arslan lost it. You can see him in the back. He's off the track. And but let's stick with Andreas Leffler. He's pushing very hard. Another little touch there to Tom Ilsbrooks. My God, that BMW, that virtual car must be knocked up in the rear now. And Leffler going down the straight. He's trying to catch the backdraft now. And he's attacking on the inside, going into Nora. set and on the inside, and he pulls back in the, and he's not. No, he's not past. Simracing stays in control. He stays in control. He's still in position 4. So going into Nora again. Another touch there, another touch, and this time Ilsbrooks moves a little. And Ilsbrooks goes off. Ilsbrooks goes off, and this Leffler is through. Ilsbrooks was defending his line, moving to the right-hand side, and then he lost control, and now Andreas Leffler's through. He's in position 4. But he's now followed very, very closely by David Bishop, who is trying to make his move now. Now that Leffler has just lost his rhythm just a little. Look at that. He's on the grass. He's on the grass. Bishop now trying to move on the inside. Now he's staying back. And now Bishop goes off. Bishop goes off in Opel. Bishop goes off in Opel, so that should put the second of the TBR racers in a very good position. Let's move down the grid of the stretch there.
Again, Eckhart, I'm sorry to interrupt, but Damien just passed Tom. Tom lost a bit of time, I think, in the pits, and Damien could pass him.
Oh, okay, that's the battle for position 5 and 6 there between Damien Dane Humane and Tom Ilsbrooks, and you're absolutely right. So they're only half a second apart, so that must be one of the really close fights, just as the one that we're following here between Mikael Helen and Mike Simeon.
Yeah, Helen is still at the back of the FlatOut car.
Oh, we're doing our usual roundup of the grid because we have a new race leader. Thanks to all the pitting action going on, we have a new race leader. And as I'm speaking, here's finally the attack. Here's the attack of Mikael Helen, and he's passed. There was a little touch there, but I think nothing serious at all. He's passed Mike Simeon. That was a great move, and if I'm not mistaken, it was done in Coppice. So that, of all places, really, that was a courageous attack there by Mikael Helen. And now he's running wide. He's running wide a little. There was a car there on the inside, and this is Mike Simeon has passed again. Oh my God!
Yeah, one of the A&E cars went. Well, he locked up and went wide, and I think Mikael played it safe instead of attacking, and Mike could pass him back.
Yeah, that's exactly the way I saw it. I think he moved to the outside, you know, to really have no contact at all with that A&E car there in the dust cloud, and. Mike Simeon is back on top. That must be very frustrating for Mikael Helen. I mean, he's been waiting to pass him all, you know, for 3, 4, 5 laps. And we're about to start the race. I can hear the engines now roaring up. And there they go. Brilliant start by Panu Ronkainen. And he leads the field into the first curve. And his teammate Jack Heathley follows him closely, already under pressure from Andreas Leffler, who is a wizard in the first 1 or 2 laps. Let's see if he can get past one of the 2 GMT-DH racers. Panu Ronkainen now going into the infield, as I would call it. That's a very long stretch here in the Parabolica. And already the field has kind of stretched out a little. We can now see the big Mercedes grandstand there, and Leffler, and I can see that I guess almost everyone had a good start. It got away well, and there's a first small attack here. The 2 teammates going into the hairpin, but Ronkainen stays in control and stays in position number 1. Only 1 lap to go. And we just saw the guy holding the flag there, little virtual guy, and it wasn't a black and white flag, it wasn't a checkered flag, so they're still battling it out for at least another lap. Jack Heathley in position 8, Simon Lewis in position 9. Will he make a move? Will he still have the power? Will he still have the tires to make a move? But remember, he came in very late, so his tires should be amongst the freshest on the whole circuit here. Well, if Simon still wants to make a move, he should better prepare it now, but I can imagine that Jack Heathley, who's looked very much in control of his race whenever we saw him, is not taking any chances here in the last 1 or 2 laps. Is showing us some of his perfect clean lines again. Simon coming closer here in front of the Mercedes grandstand. They're now back on what used to be the old track of the Hockenheim before the new track was established in 2002. And they're into the motordrome now. They're both on the grass. Into the Sachskurve, and this is where Simon gets very, very, very close. Let's see if he can take a lot of speed out of Südkurve. Jack pulling away a little. Simon staying a bit on the outside, now on the inside. They're moving up the start and finish now. And they are very close. They are very, very close. Still no checkered flag here. Simon showing himself, showing Jack, listen, I'm here, and the worst thing that Jack can actually do is cutting too much in that corner we just saw, because that will give him a stop and go. So let's hope the marshals didn't see that maneuver right now. And now comes the part where Jack usually pulls away just a little. It's let's see if Simon can hang on. They go down Parabolica, they're moving into the hairpin, approaching the hairpin. And the defensive maneuver here by Jack, blocking Simon, but it's all very sportsman behavior here. Simon not taking any chances, not doing any risky maneuvers there. After all, they've done 90 minutes. Why should he spoil it now in the very last few minutes? Now again, he's moving in close, taking a slightly different line there. I think he's trying to set up a move just as they move into the motordrome. Watch it, folks, watch it. He's out of the slipstream. No, he's not. He's still holding back. Not Sachskurve. Sachskurve is where he is always very, very, very close. Simon Maluish following Jack Keithley. Ooh, that was close, that was close. Simon to draw back. That might have cost him the seconds. I don't think he can set up another move going into Sachskurve. There he is, on the curbs. Jack, a very nice line of Jack through the Südkurve. A very nice line again. Very close racing now, and there is the checkered flag for that. Well, I hope you enjoyed that movie there, put together, I think, by Jose himself, showing some of the good scenes that we've seen here in this Black Cup tournament in the European Team Challenge. And as most of you probably know, the next tournament is already up and coming. It's going to be renamed, since we have 1 or 2 teams that also have American drivers with them, or drivers from other overseas countries. So it's not going to be anymore the European Team Challenge, but it's going to be the STC. And if I'm not mistaken, that is the Simracing Team Challenge. Jose, is that right? Simracing Team Challenge, is that our new name?
It's absolutely correct.
Okay, thank you very much. So my memory serves me well. Well, before the start, just to get back to those points, 329 points is what the Roaring Pipes Maniacs have, acquired or worked their way up to in the first, 10 races with 2 to go. And with a total of 48 points in every single race. Now, if the Roaring Pipe Maniacs score 0 points today, they can easily be outscored by any of the teams behind them. Also, always remember, FlatOut Club are down 11 points, and the Black Rebels are down 48 points, and Team GG are down, about 60 points, and GMT-DH Racing are also down 60 points. So all these teams still have basically a chance to win the championship. And so the Roaring Pipe Maniacs will really have to present us with one of their solid showings today to keep the FlatOut Club and especially GMT-DH Racing at bay, with GMT-DH in positions number 1 and 2. And if they can pull that one off, that would give them the 48 points I mentioned before, and would really get them quite close to the Roaring Pipes Maniacs. It would possibly get them past Team GG and within reach of the Black Rebels and the FlatOut Club. And with the last race on Sunday in the GT Sports class, we might see GMT-DH actually getting very, very, very close to the championship itself, and that, folks, would be such a big surprise. I mean, they only came on in the fourth race. They skipped the whole first three races because I think they didn't even know the tournament existed. And when they came on, it was a bit like a Veni Vidi Vici. I came, I saw, and I conquered. And so today, in position number 1 and 2 is GMT-DH Racing. And let's see what these two, Panu Ronkainen and the second racer, who is, as I said, a new face here in the championship, that is Mikko Korkiakaski. Let me quickly check if that name is correct. There he is, Mikko Korkiakaski. Yes, these two guys are in position number 1 and 2. However, if you listen closely to the times I gave you from the qualifying, the others are not so far behind. So let's see what they do. In the last GT Sports race at Hockenheim, we saw Panu Ronkainen taking well-deserved start-finish victory. He was in pole position, he set the best time, and then he won the race too. However, his second, who was supposed to shield him a little, had some trouble and then had to drop some places, so they couldn't pull off a 1-2. Let's see what they do today. Right now, we're waiting for the grid to fill. It's 2 minutes before the start, but however, if the grid fills up quickly, then we might be in for a quicker start. So let's go on the grid. And Jose, tell me, what car are we following on the grid? What car will we be watching at the start?
Well, just the top of the group, but we will see how we manage to show all the interesting things happen in the first corners of the race. It's always difficult.
Yeah, I know you'll do your very best. I try to hang on, and so I have got my screen glued on the number 2, Panu Ronkainen. As I said before, many Astons here on the track. Overall, there are 17 cars today on the track, and one team didn't show up. That's Torrent Racing from America. They left a very good impression at Hockenheim 2 weeks ago. Unfortunately, today they can't be with us, and again, unfortunately, just as with Blue Flag last week, Team GG can only field one racer. That's Laurent Michalis in the listers. So we have 10 Astons, we have 2 Corvettes, 2 Koenigseggs, 2 Audis, and 1 lister, bringing us to an overall of 17. Well, the run-up to the first corner is quite long here. I'd say about 500 meters in real life. And since then, the first corner is actually a chicane. It's called the Eso de Baja, and we should be in for some heavy fighting. And oh my goodness, what's that? I see on my screen that Massimo Dalla Pellegrina had to leave the race. Something must have come up there with his connection or something else. So we're down to 16 drivers even before the start race. And now it's only seconds to go. The engines are revved high, and here they go. It's the start. Panu Ronkainen gets away closely. Brilliant starter by Tor. Tor in the Lucas in the Degan racing car. And Panu Ronkainen is now in number 1. Ronkainen in 1. And the Degan racer in number 2, followed by Christer Larsson, I think. Or by Mikael Larsson of Blue Flag Racing in number 3, and then a FlatOut racer in 4. Ross Belfour has taken position number 5. He's had a perfect start, but where on earth is the second GMT-DH racer? I can't see him anywhere at this point. It's number 1, Panu Ronkainen. Number 2, it's the new Degan racer, Tor Qualman. And number 3 should be, if I'm not mistaken, Mikael Larsson of Blue Flag Racing. Yes, there he is, Mikael Larsson. Number 4 is the FlatOut racer. The first one should be Tom Isbrooks. Number 5, Ross Belfour. Number 6, the second RPM racer. So they're all set and ready to defend their championship lead. Number 6, that should be Christopher Aponti in the second Corvette. And then as we go down the grid, Christopher Aponte, hot on his heels. Christopher Larsson, they had some fights in the preseason races, memorable fights. And then in position number 8, it's Lucas Degan as the drivers here heading to come back from the first lap. Remember, it's very short laps here. It's only 4 kilometers in real life. Lucas Degan down the straight in position number 8. And position number 9, Ricardo Conti of the Burning Tires. But let's go back to the top of the grid to see what's happening up there. And here at the top, we have Panu Ronkainen still in the lead in lap number 2, still in the lead in the GMT-DH Aston Martin, followed very, very closely by Tor Qualman. That Audi racer is not going to let him slip away so easily. He is desperate to hang on. In number 3, already a little gap there, a little gap opening between Qualman and Mikael Larsson of Blue Flag Racing. And then the rest of the field behind, but where is the second GMT-DH racer? Jose, from your position, did you see what happened at the start? What happened to the second GMT racer? Any idea?
I don't know what happened, but I saw him in position 14.
Well, that's quite a drop. Something must have gone awfully wrong at the start. Let's hope it's not some indication of some mechanical problems, which in our case here in online racing would be some connection problems or some PC problems. Let's hope it's just something that simply went wrong at the start and that he can deal with and can handle. I'm at the top of the grid at this moment. I'm with Panu Ronkainen, and he is still followed by Tor Qualman. But very slowly now, in lap number 3, he can pull away. He can put just a little distance between him and Tor, and then, as I said, a sizable gap there opening to position number 3 to Mikael Larsson, who seems to be under heavy pressure. So let's switch to Mikael Larsson in position number 3. And there he is, Mikael Larsson in the blue and white Blue Flag Racer. And he is, as I said, under heavy pressure from none other than Tom Isbrooks, the Koenigsegg there of FlatOut Racing. And let's not forget, FlatOut are in position number 2 in the overall championship. So every single point that he achieves today is worth gold. Position number 4 then, Tom Isbrooks, and the 2 Corvettes in his rearview mirrors are the 2 RPMs, and they are the hot contenders, of course, for the overall title. It's Ross Balfour in 5, followed by Christopher Aponte in 6. And let's move to Aponte, because he is followed closely by the second Christopher on the grid, by Christopher Larsson of Blue Flag Racing. But at the end of the long straight, Christopher Larsson is in no position to attack Aponte at all. So these two had some memorable battles, as I said early on, especially in the races leading up to the tournament, when we checked out all the equipment, and if everything worked out fine, checked the skins, checked the connections, checked the servers, and they had some great battles there, the 2 Christophers, Aponte and Larsson, and today they're at it again. And we know that both of them are very careful racers, racers that really take their time waiting for that chance, just as Jari Gnarvius. And right now, Ross Balfour with some problems here in the curve called Pinarino. That's a very, very tight curve in the infield. For those of you who don't know the layout of Curitiba, it's basically like a NASCAR racing track. So it's got an outer track, which is sort of an oval with a third point put in on the opposite straight, and then they have an infield. So we're racing with the infield, of course, today, not with the NASCAR-like track, which you can also do in GTR Evo. But today it's the infield track, and the drivers right now on the front straight, which, as I said before, is exactly 1,000 meters long, and they're now braking into the chicane, and we can see Tom Isbrooks there going through the gravel. As I said earlier, this is the game, the wardens here, the marshals are dead asleep in the game, and you can go straight across the gravel. But as you see, I don't really think that it gets you that much of an advantage for Tom Isbrooks, and most of the drivers actually choose the tarmac here. Ooh, bit of a trouble there for Christopher Aponte. He almost nudged Ross Balfour, his way younger teammate there in the second Corvette. And he is now very close, Christopher Aponte. So I wonder what Balfour would actually do. Will he actually let Aponte pass? He seems to be slightly faster, especially in the in the turns, whereas on the straight it seems as if Belfort can always move away just a little. And Larsson basically just hanging on, just watching. Alright, let's go back to the top of the grid and let's have our first rundown to see where everyone is at, so that especially our viewers who are with the teams can then check out. But let's still stick here with Christopher Aponte. He's now moving up to Ross Belfort. Let's hope they're on TeamSpeak the two, and let's hope that this goes well. But Ross Belfort leaves lots of space here. Aponte taking the gravel, coming back on the track. Bit of a slide there, but can he take the power out onto the straight? Yes, he definitely can. And Belfort moves in to block Christopher Larsson, and Aponte is passed. Aponte is in position number 5, and Belfort stays in front of Christopher Larsson. I think that was a very clever move by RPM. Aponte clearly was just a bit faster, and so Belfort now is the block. And this, of course, being a team tournament, is just the way to do it, and RPM is doing it. The Roaring Pipes Maniacs are doing it perfectly. But right now, Christopher Larsson, sorry folks, we can't move to the top of the grid because Christopher Larsson is actually attacking Ross Belfort. He is actually hot on the heels. There was a little touch there right now, and now Belfort is off the track, so that means that maybe Christopher Larsson can position himself in a very good position for the long straight, but I'm afraid he can't. I'm afraid he's too far away, sliding a bit there, coming out of the turn, so that means that Belfort is safe for the moment. Well, that was quite a lap. Let's go back then to the top of the grid and see if Panu Ronkainen is pulling away just as easily as he was in Hockenheim. And we should be with him now, Panu Ronkainen in position number 1. And of course open space in front of him and quite a lot of space behind him as well. He's pulling away from Tor Qualman in the RD8 of Degan Racing. And we have so far not seen Qualman's qualities over 90 minutes. He seems to be a really fast racer. If I'm not mistaken, he was position number 3 in the qualifying, and he is able to almost follow Ronkainen, and we know that Ronkainen is one of the fastest guys out there. And Qualman there, almost able to match the speed, but right now, at this point, he's almost 300 virtual meters, I would say, behind Ronkainen as the two of them go down the straight. Well, Coleman in the yellow Audi. The Audi, of course, is a fantasy car, a car that so far has not been seen on the tracks in real life, if I'm not mistaken. But my God, does it look great here in virtual reality on Curitiba. And then let's move to position number 3. It's my teammate, Mikael Larsson. In number 3 there, he's a very busy guy these days, work-wise, so I can't put that many laps into racing, into qualification, into practice as he would like to, but it looks as if the laps he can still put in are enough to put him in position number 3, and we know that he can race the whole distance. We know that he's a fast racer for 90 minutes, for more than 90 minutes. He's been part of our team in the 10 hours Fuji race. That was an R Factor, but it was also an Aston Martin virtual car, and he did brilliant in that race. So let's see if he can keep up with Qualman, if he can maybe get close to Qualman and put some pressure. But ooh, that was a bit of a slide there, going into what I think is the last turn before they head on to the start and finish straight. Yes, that is, and that turn, by the way, is called Vitoria. Okay, Mikael Larsson in 3. Moving down, Tom Isbrooks in 4. And don't be mistaken, the second flat-out racer that we see there, Henk van der Meulen, he is about to be lapped. Already at this early point in the race, so we have the first lapping maneuvers. Something must have gone wrong for Henk van der Meulen at the start. He's usually a much faster racer than what we see today. And also I saw on the back the only GG racer on the track today, Monsieur Laurent Michelis. He's also been lapped already, and so Thomas Brooks has now lapped Henk van der Meulen. And if Henk van der Meulen is a clever guy, he's gonna block Christopher Aponte just a little. Not to overdo it, of course, not to be unfair, but It's all in the name of the game. This is a team tournament, and it would be unwise to let a Ponty just slip by without any problems whatsoever. Let's see. What? There he is passed. There he is passed. As I'm talking, he's already passed. The Ponty is passed. Van der Meulen, he has led Van der Meulen without any problems, so he is in position 4 and still following Ilsbrooks, and that actually is the fight for the top of the overall table, I would say. RPM, the Roaring Pipes Maniacs, chasing the Koenigsegg of the FlatOut racers. Alright, and there is, as you can see them now going down the straight, quite a distance between these two and Mikael Larsson in the first blue flag racing car. Right then, number 5. And it's still Ross Balfour in number 5. Though Christopher Aponte has put a good distance between himself and his teammate in the 3 to 4 laps that have from the passed from the last time we saw them. They're now on what is the back straight, basically, leading up to that little third kink there. And now, as you can see, they leave what I would call the NASCAR track, and they're now into the infield, and it's slightly uphill here. And this looks like an easy run-up, but it's very difficult to balance your car at exactly this point here because it's a very, very slow corner that's following. That's the fabled Pinarino corner. And an attack here. An attack by Christopher Larsson. No, he pulls back. As I said, he's one of your careful racers, and I think he will only try to get past Balfour if he is 150% sure that he can pull the thing off without damaging both his and Balfour's race for sure. And now he's running a little wide there on the exit, so no way of him catching up to Balfour on the straight. That's Christopher Larsson in position number 6. Position number 7. Woo, the first of the Burning Tires racers. He's had a good start, and he has covered some places so far. That's Riccardo Conti in the Burning Tires Aston Martin, a design that I really like very much indeed. It's gray and white with, of course, since it's the Burning Tires, some orange and red and yellow thrown in. And if I'm not mistaken, the gray and green car we see behind is racing for a position. Yes, it is. It's Graham Kerr, position number 8, Aney Racing. And the Aney racers have had their ups and downs in this tournament, but I think it's great that they're still with us. I think it's great that they're showing up for every race and battling, slugging it out there on the track. They've had some very hard luck at times with disconnections and stuff, but they're always back, they're always fighting, and it's great to have them with us. Position 8 for Aney Racing at this point, so in many of the international series that would mean they're just inside the points. They're right now lapping the Team GG lister. They're just now lapping Monsieur Michelis, and let's see who is in position. And Kerr has moved up one place. He has moved up to position 7 because there must have been some problems for Riccardo Conti, something that I didn't see that I hope you saw. He must have left the track sometime in between. All right, well then, let's move to position number 8. Position number 8, there he is, Riccardo Conti, who must have had some trouble in between, must have moved off the track. And then position number 9, it's David Garcia. That's the first of the 2 Black Rebels racers. Another Aston Martin here in the yellow and white colors, and showing the logo of the GameHosters.net, who provide the server for this series. Thank you very much indeed for that. And so he's in position 9, trying to get as many points as possible for his team. And also, as you can see, they have the Save the Children sticker on their windscreen, which I think is a brilliant idea to support a worthy cause here also in sim racing. Position number 10, it's the second of the Degan racers, team boss himself, team founder himself, Lucas Degan of Belgium, in the second of the Audis, sporting NRG. That's a radio station. However, I've been told that it's just basically because they like the design. It's not that they really get any kind of support or money from them, but Lucas sent me a mail if I'm wrong on that one. And then, position number 11, and already in the pits, Darren Gardner. And as you can see, he's missing his front splitter, so he must have been off the track someplace. And right now, he's dropped a place to position number 12 We'll find out in half a second who was the guy passing him. And he's moving on the track, and if I see that correctly on my screen, there is no splitter at all on the car. So he decided to move in, to have some repairs done, but to keep the splitter off, or he had some problems with the pit menu. Darren Gardner back on the track in position number 12. But let's check out who passed him there while he was in the pits. Let's check out who is in position number 11. Position number 11, and there we have Mikko Korkiakowski. He was number 2, if you remember, in the qualifying. Something happened to him at the start, something really awful, something really bad, and he dropped down 9 positions. He dropped down 9 positions to position 11 right now, and Jose told me he was down to 14 actually at the beginning of the race. So he's on the way back up the grid, and I think he still has quite some time left to do that. We've 17 minutes of the race so far, so there's a lot of time for Korkiakowski to make good on that one. Position number 11, Korkiakowski. Position number 12, Darren Gardner, who we just saw in the pit, and this is what happens if you're out on the track and you don't have the correct splitter on. He's off the track and he's down to 14. Down to 14 means we have to go back up the grid again to see who passed him, and that's none other than GG racer Laurent Michelis there, and he is having some awful trouble to keep the car on the track too. And let me tell you that Lister is quite some beast there to keep on the track, but also there seems to be some problem with his steering. It's very kind of, well, what can I say? It doesn't look as if it's very smooth, to put it mildly. And then in 12, moving up the grid, it's the second of the Black Rebels racer, and if I see that correctly, there's a bit of the back of the car missing for him. Yes, there is. That's also not so very good for the handling. It's Xavier Sampedro for the Black Rebels in position number 12. And we're still on our rundown of the grid. Laurent Michelis in 13, and Henk van der Meulen of the FlatOut racers in 14, the second FlatOut racer in 14. So that's the Koenigsegg of FlatOut. Perfect design, I think. This yellow and black, very racy kind of design in 14. And then in 15, again in the grids, poor Darren Gardner. Let's hope that this time his pit crew manages to get that front splitter on. He seems to be in serious trouble, poor chap. And then, oh my goodness, what's that? Panu Ronkainen in 16 and in the pits, and that looks as if he's out of the race. Folks, things are happening that I haven't heard of so far. It looks as if we have a new leader. While I was going down the grid for you, let's quickly go back to number 1 and check out who is number 1 at this point. And yes, do we have a new leader? Tor Qualman in the Degan. Tor Qualman in the Degan Audi. The first time ever he appears on the grid here. The first time I even heard his name, and already he is in the lead. Now, that will be so interesting to watch what he can do over the course of 90 minutes. We saw him in the quali. We saw that he was a really, really fast guy. And we see right now that he has opened up quite some distance to Mikael Larsson in the Blue Flag Racing car, in the Blue Flag Racing Aston Martin. And from what I see, very clean lines here for Tor Qualman, so he should be fine with the tires. I wonder what car actually is harder on the virtual tires, the Audi or the Aston following him. Tor Qualman in position number 1. Congratulations to Degan Racing. They deserve it. They deserve to be up there in front. They're a very good team. But, ooh, it seems that he has hit a massive black spike. I don't know if it could be seen on your screens. On my screen, the car froze as he was approaching the last turn, and then when he came back on, he was in a wild, wild slide. And now he's dropped down to 2, and there's an attack by the FlatOut racer. The FlatOut racer, he touches Degan. That was the second Degan racer. Lucas Degan himself was there, and the FlatOut racer tried to get past. Tommy Isbrook tried to get past, but when he tried to get past, all he saw was the second Degan racer. So that means he has to stay in 3, but now he's up for the attack again. On the back straight, it's the Koenigsegg, and the Koenigsegg is past. Tommy Isbrook is past, but Will he get past? No, he won't. Torquemada is back in 2. What a fight here, folks. What a fight. Will Tom Isbrooks try to get past just before Pinarino? Cars are very unstable at this point. The slightest touch can send you way off. But Coleman stays in front. And on the other hand, right now, Isbrooks is in trouble. Christopher Aponte, an attack by him. They go down into Essa di Alta side by side, but Isbrooks stays just in front. Ooh, some serious racing going on here. Aponte now trying it on the outside, back on the grass, back on the track. Massive braking there by Tom Isbrooks. And Aponte in the Corvette has to pull back a little and has to move back. But as these fights have been going on, and my goodness, what a lap that was, I must say that if I'm not mistaken, it's my team fellow, Mikael Larsson, who is in the lead, a blue flag racer in the lead. And here we see that Isbrooks always takes the outside line, which is, as I said, perfectly okay on this track because you don't get penalized for it by the game. And we have decided to let the game decide what is a penalty and what not. And Aponte in 4, Isbrooks in 3, Qualman in 2, and indeed Mikael Larsson, a blue flag racer in the front position, in position number 1. Going into Pinarino here. Out of Pinarino, and the Aston Martin can be a real bitch going out of turns. It's not very solid on the rear axle, I can tell you that. Larsson going sideways here, approaching now the last turn, back on what I would call the NASCAR track. Bit of a slide into the last turn here. It's so important to get a lot of speed out of this last turn because it's a long, long, long straight, these 1 kilometers in real life. I hope you could just see it here on Larsson's windscreen, Amnesty International. That's the non-profit organization that we at Blue Flag decided to support here in the tournament. It's a worthy cause indeed. And Christopher Larsson, so not only showing here the blue and white and yellow colors of Blue Flag Racing, but also doing some good work here for Amnesty International. So, Larsson in the lead. Please forgive me if I'm especially happy about that. I just happen not to be totally impartial at this point, being a blue flag racer myself. But this guy is so much faster than I am. I can tell you that. I was on the track this afternoon in the Aston Martin, and my son actually had a lot of fun enjoying all my spins and turns. Found it really difficult to get only one lap together. And now he passes the second Black Rebels racer, that's Xavier San Pedro. That was a lapping maneuver there, of course, not a pass, but a lapping maneuver with Xavier, who's still missing parts of his Aston Martin there. Okay, so Mikael Larsson in front. We've done 25 minutes of the race so far. Mikael Larsson in trouble. He's in big trouble at the end of the straight. He totally missed his break point. Will he be back on time before? No, he won't. It's position number 2. It's position number 4 for Mikael Larsson after this massive mistake at the back of the straight. All three are passed, and that means that Torquemada, even after the lag spike he had, even after the slide, he is back in front. But he is in serious trouble now. Look at him. There's Tom Isbrooks hot on his heels. Tom Isbrooks under quite some pressure from Christopher Aponte. Right now as they approach Pinarino, it's Aponte again nibbling away at the back of the Koenigsegg there. And Xavier San Pedro in the Black Rebels, left guy, still in between, and then it's Mikael Larsson down to position number 4 again after missing that break point awfully at the end of the straight. Tom Isbrooks in 2, and it looks as if he has his hands full here defending against Christopher Aponte. Two very skilled racers indeed, and Coleman has managed to pull away just a little from these two. Tom Isbrooks going down the straight, now approaching the break point that Mikael Larsson missed so awfully in the last turn, taking the outside line as usual, while Aponte takes the inside line. But as you can see, as they come back up here on the straight, not really much of an advantage that you gain by taking that line there through the gravel of course slowing you down a little. So, Jose, are you still with me? What do you say to these first 25 minutes of racing we've seen so far on this treacherous track here in Curitiba?
Well, I think the mistakes the drivers on the top had made the race much more interesting, because before it seemed like they were taking some advantage once from another, and after the speaking of the Degan racer and the mistake of Larson, now everything is much closer, I think.
Yeah, I agree with you. And look at them here, going down the back straight. That's really close racing. I mean, we're in a 90 minutes race. It's not like this is a sprint race, you know, WTCC or anything. No, it's a GT race, and it's a 90-minute race. And after 25 minutes, we have the first four still very close together. And Jose, have you got any news about the awful fate of Panu Ronkainen, who was pulling away, who was on another start-finish position number 1 victory there, and who apparently had to pull out of the race? Any news on why that happened?
No idea at this moment. But maybe I can look for him in the pit and bring him in the broadcast place and interview him.
That would be perfect. That would be perfect. I mean, it's an awful shame that he's not in the lead. He was clearly the fastest guy here, dominating the qualifying and then pulling away easily. And now, after only 30 minutes or so of the race, he's already out, and looks as if he could only race for about 15 to 20 minutes, and something must have happened. And now a mistake by Usbrooks. A mistake by Usbrooks as they move into that Laurent Michelis, and that brings Larsson close. And the Degan racer you see here is Lucas Degan and not Tor Qualman. And Usbrooks has to move out. What a massive thing is going on here. And everything has changed again. Mikael Larsson is back in position. No, he's not. And there is spin by Usbrooks, trying to get very quickly out of Pinheiro. I think he lost it there. I don't think anybody touched him. I couldn't quite see it correctly. I don't think anybody touched him. And it's the two lap drivers there, and it's Mikael Larsson very closely following Christopher Aponti right now. An attack by Larsson. He's on the inside. Can he take a lot of speed out on the main stretch, the main front and start finish line? Yes, he can. I think he is in the slip-through now, and I think we might see an attack by him at the end of the straight. And this gave Tor Qualman some breathing space. He has pulled away a little. No, he doesn't attack at the end of the straight. And now he takes the outside line too, and a mistake there by Aponti. A mistake there by Aponti, and that brings Mikael Larsson back into position number 2. And I was totally mistaken about the Degan racer that we saw. The Degan racer right in front of Mikael Larsson is none other than race leader Tor Qualman. So what we are seeing here is a very, very, very close race, with all the racers putting in little mistakes here and there, because these GT Pro cars are so difficult to handle. And I think the track is very, very hard on the tires. At least on our forum, people reported temperatures of virtual temperatures of well beyond 100 degrees Celsius, and one of the main problems was trying to get the temperature of the tires down. So I wonder if we have the first time, I think, in the GT Pro, I wonder if we have a two-stop strategy here for most of the fast guys. If this would be the case, we might see the first pit stops in the next few minutes.
Eckhart, we have Panu Ronkainen with us. He's listening to you.
Well, Panu, congratulations for the pole position, but what happened in race? Why did you have to drop out? That was awful.
Actually, it was Mikko with the pole position, but
Sorry.
I was lapping a lister on the front straight, and braking into turn 1, he hit me in the rear, and I was out of the race.
Oh, that is very, very hard luck. So it was the left car actually missing his brake point a little and then tapping you in the rear, and that sent you out.
Yeah, I don't know what it was, but in the braking into turn 1, he just hit me in the rear. I tried to make it back to the pits, but I was busy messing with the pit menu, and I missed the pit entrance too.
Ah, too bad, too bad.
Yeah, bad luck indeed.
Bad luck indeed. So you had much better luck at Hockenheim, but you had bad luck at Understorp too, didn't you?
Sorry, what was that?
Wasn't it Understorp where you had the bad luck too?
At Hockenheim?
Yeah, Hockenheim, I think it was a perfect race for you, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was pretty okay. I had no problems there. This was gonna be... It started off pretty much the same, but, well, stuff happens.
Yeah, that's a nice way to put it. Stuff happens. So,
Yeah.
Panu, my condolences, so to speak, to you at this point. Sorry to hear that you're out of the race. Any news from your fellow teammate? What position is he in? And have you got any news to tell us about what happened to him at the start?
I'm not sure really what happened in the start. I just saw him, he didn't get off the line really at all. And then, I don't know what happened. Last time I looked, I think he was in 11th place.
Yeah, that's about where we saw him. I think Jose saw him dropping down to 14 even at the beginning of the race, and so there must have been some serious problem at the beginning of the race for him. So, GMT-DH, at the beginning of the race, you looked all set to actually attack the teams in position number 3 and 2 on the overall standings, or in the overall standings, but right now it looks as if you can't pull that one off.
Yeah, we're going to be missing a lot of points now that I'm out of the race, but what can you do?
Yeah, what can you do? Sorry for that. Seems that is racing, and as you said so wisely, stuff happens. So, Panu, thank you very much for being with us, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the race from the unlucky position of just being able to watch, and I hope you can give your teammates some good advice on TeamSpeak to help him improve his position. Thank you for being with us, Panu.
No problem.
Okay, and while we were doing the interview, there was lots of action going on here on the track. Tor Qualman still in position number 1, still followed by Mikael Larsson. There was lapped drivers, or drivers who are down 1 lap or maybe 2 laps, all over the place in this race today. The GT Pro cars seem to be especially difficult to handle here at virtual Curitiba track in virtual Brazil. And Jose, should we do a rundown again at this point in the race to see where everyone is?
Why not? There's a lot of drivers that didn't have any second in the broadcast. So, let's go.
Alright, so here we go. Tor Qualman in top in the Degan Racing Audi. Still followed very, very closely by blue flags, Mikael Larsson in 2. In position number 3, and he had to drop the pace a little. That's Tom Ilsbrox in the FlatOut racer. Position number 4, the second blue flag racer, Christopher Larsson. Position number 5, Ross Balfour in the first of the Roaring Pipes Maniacs races. Position number 6, Graham Kerr, who just as we watched, sorry Graham, is missing the brake point at the end of the long straight. But position number 6, that's an awful good position. remembering where he came from in the qualification. He seems to have been driving just a very steady race so far. Graham Kerr, position number 6. Position number 7, David Garcia for the Black Rebels. Position number 8, Christopher Aponte, another Rolling Pipes Maniacs Corvette. And this far down, I have the sneaking suspicion that this guy has already been in the pits and that this guy is on a 2 pit stop strategy. But that's only a guess at this point. Position number 9. There we have him, Mikko Korkiakowski. I'm sorry, Mikko, I took away your pole position there in the interview with Panu. It was, of course, you sitting on pole and not Panu. So the only GMT-DH racer still in the race, Mikko Korkiakowski, in position number 9. Position number 10, the second of the Degan racers, that's Lucas Degan himself. Position number 11, the first of the Burning Tires racers, Riccardo Conti. Going down the last bit here to the last turn before the start and finish straight. Position number 12, Henk van der Meulen in the second FlatOut races. So both FlatOut racers still on the grid, still in the race. That means some good points for them today. Position number 13, that's Xavier San Pedro, the second of the Black Rebels racers, still racing with a slightly broken car there, bits of the rear missing on the Black Rebels Aston Martin. Position number 14, the Seoul GG team racer on the grid today in the Seoul Lista. That's Monsieur Laurent Michelis in number 14. Position number 15 is where we see the guys already in the pits and already out of the race. That's Darren Gardner, sorry to hear, already out of the race. We saw him in the pits twice, having some serious problems with his front splitter, and it looks as if he had to simply give up because maybe there was a problem with the pit menu and this front splitter never got repaired by his virtual crew. Alright, in 16th in the pits, and we had him on the interview, that's Panu Ronkainen. And then that's all the racers that are left on the server here. So Tor Coleman, we're back in position number 1 with him, and I think we're approaching the pit window now with 40 minutes of the race or 38 minutes of the race over. I think the guys are into pit in maybe the next 5 to 10 minutes, so be prepared for some pits and some pit strategies in the next minutes. Okay, let's see if Coleman pits. By the way, that's the pit entrance there on your right-hand side here. It's very early, and you go, I think you actually go not really across the grass, but you get quite far away from the track, and then you move into the pits. And the pit straight is, or the pit lane itself, sorry, the pit lane itself is also rather long, so pitting takes a lot of time here in Curitiba. Well, since Coleman is easily in one here, followed by Mikael Larsson, who basically seems to hang on and wait for his chance. Let me give you some more information, maybe about the track first. Curitiba, this track, as I said, in Brazil, it actually has 3 names if you look it up on the internet. It's either called the Autodromo Internacional de Curitiba, or it's called Autodromo de Pinais, or it is called Circuito Raul Brazil. I hope I pronounced his name correctly, Raul Brazil. Some of you may remember he was a Formula 1 racer, racing for March and Ligier at the beginning of the 80s. He then switched to touring cars, and but at first he raced in Champ Car and Indy Racing, took part in the Indianapolis 500 in the United States, and then he switched to prototypes and touring cars, and he actually won the 24 Hours of Daytona and was a runner-up in the Jaguar in 1991 at Le Mans. So Raul Brazil, he is a native of Curitiba, and I guess that's why the track is now at least semi-officially called after him. I don't know if he has already retired from racing. If I see this correctly on the internet, he's still active in touring cars. He's still active racing in a Porsche, but I'm not sure if that is really competitive racing or just maybe some show races that he's doing. I have no idea at this point. The track itself, it's... yes, please, Jose, interrupt at all costs.
We have Darren with us, waiting for you.
Okay, Darren Gardner, while I'm babbling away about the track here at Curitiba, you're waiting for your interview. Sorry there, mate. You're out of the race. Can you tell us what happened?
I don't know really. I think I just lost concentration. I was racing with Lucas Degan. Outbraked myself, hit the barrier, lost a splitter. Went into the pit stop, changed the splitter. Didn't change it the first time round. Went in again, and it didn't change it again, so I gave up, and I couldn't.
Yeah, we saw you in the pits the first time, and you went out of the pits without a splitter, so that looked quite awful to us, poor little you. Your pit crew actually totally messed it up, didn't they?
Yeah, I had the option there to change it, but they didn't change it twice, so I gave up.
Yeah, that's a little flaw in the game that we have seen a couple of times before, isn't it? That the pit menu, from time to time, your virtual pit crew doesn't really do what you want it to do. So, yeah, I think that was wise. We saw you on the track, and you missed your breakpoints awfully without a splitter, didn't you?
Yes, I did, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, any information on teams? Go on.
I wanted to do a lot better. I was having a good feeling about tonight, but it went totally wrong.
Yeah, you were up, was it you or was it your teammate? One of you was up in position 8 at one point, and I thought, oh, that looks great, and I hope it wasn't you.
No, that was Graham Kerr. He's a good driver. I mean, he's quick, so hopefully he'll do well for A&E.
Yeah, right now, though, he's been lapped by Tor Qualman, but let me check quickly while we're talking what position we find him in. He is up to position number 6, and that indeed is a very good position to be in. Graham Kerr in 6, and if I'm not mistaken, he's at this point right now lapped by second positioned Mikael Larsson, so, but that doesn't matter, I think, in a 90-minute race. It really is no shame to be lapped maybe once or twice, as long as you're high up as he is in position number 6. So, any news from him on the TeamSpeak? Did you talk to him just now?
Yeah, he said a lot of cars have pitted in front of him. He's just worried about the tyres. That's his main concern.
Yeah, it seems to me that this track is really, really hard on the tires. We also had a discussion on that on our team forum. I mean, I didn't do many laps here in the Aston. For a driver of my quality, it's difficult enough to keep that beast just on the track. How do you do it? I mean, getting the power down on the rear wheels as you exit out of the turns. Any advice you can give to our viewers?
Just steady throttle, really. Don't put your foot flat down on the floor. Just throttle your throttle pedal. You should be okay. I mean, I was struggling on one of the corners, but I managed to sort it out in the end. But yeah, I mean, it's easy to do. Just don't go flooring it all the time like I do now and again. Like in Hockenheim, I was putting the power down too quick, and I ended my race within 30 minutes. Yet again, driver error.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Well, thank you very much for being with us, and wish you all the best for the next season. Was this your last race of the season, or will you also be participating in the GT Sports race on Sunday?
Is it the Blue Cup?
So you're all set. Yeah, you're all set for the Blue Cup then, aren't you?
Yeah.
Okay, have you decided on a car yet? Any racing? Will you be doing the Aston Martin again?
No, I don't think we will be. I think it'll be the the Ferrari.
Ah, okay, we have a mod. And right now, Graham Kerr, I don't know if our viewers can see that on the screen. Jose, he is actually going into the pits. It's exactly the middle of the race, at least on my watch, and he is pitting. And I see a Degan racer pitting too, and let me quickly check out if that is the race leader. And indeed it is. Race leader Tor Coleman is now in the pits, which puts him in position number 2, and Mikael Larsson in position number 1. Sorry for interrupting you there, mate. Wish you all the best then for the next season, and it's been great to talk to you and to have you with us here in the ETC. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so here we see Tor Coleman exiting the pits. As I said, it's a massive, massive long pit straight here. Past the safety car now, and awful seconds slip by as you go down here. And still no green light, but now there he is, and now he's out on the track again in position number 2. That means that, no, in 3, sorry, the game just now put him in 3, there must have been a little problem. But that means that there must be a heck of a gap between the first 3 and position number 4. So while we watch Tor Coleman here, let's move up the grid now. The game puts him back into, sorry folks for this, not my problem really, a bit of a problem of the game engine here, not being quite sure where to put Tor Coleman at this point. But let's move up to position number 1, check out who is in there, and then let's move to position number 3, check out who's there. And in 1, we see Mikael Larsson without a splitter now. I hope that is not a very, very bad sign for him. He is the race leader at this point. He seems to have lost his splitter in the last lap. Now let's hope that his pit menu works better. No, it doesn't. He's on the track again, and he seems to have the same problem that we just talked about. There is no splitter on his Blue Flag Racing Aston Martin, and that, folks, is a very, very bad sign indeed. It might not be the end of the race for him, but it might mean that he has to drop quite a number of positions. He still has almost half the race to go and no splitter in sight. Right now, he's already had to drop to 2, but that was to be expected. And
no, he's on first position. Seems like the simulator made some mistakes when you are exiting the pits. You have to wait a little bit to check the positions.
Yeah, you're right, Jose. I just saw that too. It pops to 2, and then on your screen it goes back to 1. He's back in 1, but I'm afraid he won't stay for very long in position number 1 without a splitter, and Coleman is on his tracks. And look, this is what happens if you haven't got a splitter, especially in a turn like Pinarino. You're in deep water, you're in serious trouble. So I'm afraid we'll watch as Mikael Larsson heads back for the pits, and I'm afraid too we'll see the same thing happening to him that we just now saw happening to Darren Gardner, and that is no splitter will be attached. But let's watch what he's doing. He is now approaching the pit. Yes, he's moving back into the pits. Well, he's trying to at least. He's on the grass again. Oh my God, this must feel so awful.
Seems like the teams lost the track with all the, you know.
Yeah, it seems that the trucks with the splitters are not on the track at this point. Yeah, looks like it at least. And he's trying to get a new splitter on, but he's now down to position. And there it is. Woo! That's, sorry, folks. I can't be impartial if I see a blue flag racer in the pits, I'm afraid. And his splitter actually comes back on, so that means that Mikael Larsson can fight back from position number 7. It's a shame that he has to drop so many places, and he seems to have some problems now exiting the pits. I don't know why he's in there so long. Let's hope he can get his car back on. I can see the fire coming out on the side, and now he's back. Now he's back. Let's hope he hasn't forgotten to switch to pit limiter on. No, he hasn't. He is back, and he should be in position number 9 at this point, and it looks as if he has lost maybe a whole lap. So folks, I'm at the timing screen at this point to give you a quick update of what's going on the track. Tor Qualman in position number 1, 39 laps he has done so far. Aponte in the first of the Roaring Pipes Maniacs Corvettes in position number 2, 8 seconds down. Tom Isbrooks in the Koenigsegg, 12 seconds down to the race leader. Christopher Larsson in the first of the Blue Flag Racing cars, 13 seconds, so he seems to be hot on the heels of Tom Isbrooks in the FlatOut car. Ross Belfort, the second of the Roaring Pipes Maniacs racers, and this will give them a perfect team result if they can stick to it. It was down in position number 5, and that's 21 seconds away from the race leader. Mikko Korkiakowski up to position number 6, 30 seconds down from the race leader. David Garcia in the Black Rebels car, in the Black Rebels Aston Martin, in position number 7 still. He's the last guy in the same lap. He's 1 minute and 8 seconds away from the race leader. Mikael Larsson, as I predicted, he's down 1 lap now, in position number 8. Position number 9, Henk van der Meulen, the second of the FlatOut racers. Position number 10, Ricardo Conti, the first of the Burning Tires. Position number 11, Xavier San Pedro, the second of the Black Rebels racers. Position number 12, Lucas Degan, the second of the Degan racers. So that's going to be a good team result for them too. And then Team GG's very own Laurent Micheli still holding on in the Lister, 5 laps down at this point. I forgot to tell you that Xavier and Lucas are down 2 laps, and 5 laps down in position number 13, Laurent Micheli. That's the last of the cars still running. So that means we have lost 4 cars so far. We've lost both of the ANY racers, we've lost one of the GMT-DH racers, and car number 4 that we have lost, let me quickly check this. No, they're all on the track, so I must have made a mistake somewhere. Seems like we've only lost 3 cars so far, both of the ANY racers and no, both of the GMT-DH racers, of course. These are the 4 cars that... No, sorry, I'm mixed up here. One of the GMT-DH is still in the race. It's Mikko Korkiakowski, still doing great out there, still battling out there. And so we have lost 3 cars at this point. Now I'm going back to the track in half a second. Alright, and here I am again. Sorry there, folks. I was just a little messed up there about who is who and what is what. Of course, one of the GMT-DH racers is still in the race, one of the fat guys from this team. But right now we are with Senor David Garcia. He's in position 8. He's just out of the pits from his pit stop, so he managed to actually do all the tires out for 55 minutes, which will give him a bit of an advantage in the second stint now. He will still have rather fresh tires at the end of the race, and let's see if he can use that to advantage at the end of the race. He should be lapped by now, actually. As I was on the results screen, he was the last racer still in the 1 lap with the race leaders, but that was before his pit, so after his pit now he should be down 1 lap, but in position number 8, which will give him quite a number of points. Position number 8 to be exact, 15 points for the Black Rebels there for David Garcia, who is now about to leave the infield. He's already out of the infield, sorry. He's approaching the last turn. He's trying to take as much speed as possible out on the front straight. Let's see. People usually get out on the curbs here a little. He doesn't. He's now down the front straight. and he's moving into the first chicane into the Essa de Baija. That's a really seriously difficult point there. He's sticking to the tarmac, touching the curves a little there. David Garcia still in 8th, and you just saw Laurent Michelis there in Team GT Lister. But as we said, he's down 5 laps, so he's not in the same lap as David Garcia is. All right, David Garcia in 8th. Let's move back up the grid to the race leader and see what he is doing, and let's see if it's still Tor Coleman for Degan Racing. And indeed he is. Tor Coleman, and at this point in the race he has a very comfortable lead indeed, and it looks as if the Audi can actually survive here at least the first stint, and it looks as if the Audi is all set for the second stint. I can't see anything at all on the car pointing towards any problems with the car. His lines still look perfect. His speed still is quite amazing. A little bit of a slide here going into the final turn, but is all seriously under control. He's lost one of the tail lights, but that of course is no problem at all. Means there must have been a little nudge on one of the tail lights, on the left tail light indeed. And going down the front straight now, and the virtual cars here are up to something like 260 virtual kilometers per hour. Nice little drift there into the Essa de Baija, now on the Recta Oposta as it's called. Sorry all Portuguese listeners for my awful Portuguese. I actually have no idea about Portuguese language. Now into the Entrada do Miolo, which is where the infield begins, uphill turn. Flat out, and now that is a very difficult point here. That's through Pinarino, and yeah, he does have some problems there, sticking to his line, but very artfully manages to keep the car on the track. And now downhill again a little, out of the infield, Essa de Alta, and now he's back on the, what I would call the NASCAR track, the original oval layout of the track. Okay, while we watch Tor Coleman, I was just giving you some facts here on the track. I was talking about the Monsieur or Senor Raul Bruzel, and the track of course also hosts the WTCC. That race will be held here on the 6th to 8th of March of this year. It will again be the season opener, which means we won't see all of the cars there, because some of the European private teams of course don't have the money to bring their cars, let alone all the other equipment, to the track here. We'll watch and see the new Chevrolets. Let's see how this car fares. And as we watch Tor Coleman here, that's of course a fantasy car, a car that at least I haven't seen on the racetrack so far. Its street version of course is out. Great car, the Audi, but I don't think we have seen this in real life so far. But send me a post, send me a PM on the forum if I am wrong. Some more information on the track. It was inaugurated in 1967, so it's a 42-year-old track, and it'll also be hosting the IRC, the International Rally Championship. I think they start their next rally on the course. They've done the Monte Carlo Rally so far last week, and I think the rally number 2, the next event, will be held in and around Curitiba. Well now, at this point, Jose, let me test your knowledge of who is who and what is what in the WTCC. What famous WTCC driver was actually born in Curitiba?
Oh my god. I don't know. Can be Farfus?
And you're so right, you're so right. You win the grand prize today, Jose. Yes, none other than Augusto Farfus was born here in Curitiba. And I don't know if there's actually a relation to him being born here and the WTCC doing its Brazilian stint in Curitiba. It's the only one of the big series that actually races here. It's a great track though, isn't it?
Well, I have to say, like a driver, I only tried the oval layout in a radicals race, so I can't really say what I think about the track, because the oval is, well, oval, and not too much
that'll go down in history,
to comment.
Yeah, that'll go down in history because the oval is, well, an oval. Yes, I think that puts it in a nutshell. Yeah, certainly. I've played the Curitiba, the infield track as well, a couple of times in the WTCC races, and I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed this change, you know, from the very fast, very, very long start and finish straight, and then the awful, really awful first chicane there, the SS de Baja, and then going into the infield, it's very technical, very difficult to keep the balance of the car, at least for somebody like me. So I like these tracks. There are several tracks on there where you have the oval and then an interesting technical infield.
And one of my teammates watching the broadcast, Mikael Helen, say it's slippery as hell.
Yeah, it is slippery. It's not as slippery as Puebla, at least in GTR Evo or in the Simbin simulations. I don't know about real life, but in the simulations, yes, it is slippery. I can agree with that. It doesn't show so much if you do the WTCC front wheel drive cars, but as I said, this afternoon I tried myself to do some laps here, and the Aston Martin it was just, you know, slip sliding all the time, and I have the greatest respect for the guys who can keep their virtual cars on the track here, as does Tor Qualman. And let's go back to the race. Our viewers actually want to know what's happening, so let's see who is in position number 2. At this point, Tor Qualman on the screen is followed by a blue flag racer who should be Mikael Larsson, but position number 2 is held by none other than Christopher Aponte of the Roaring Pipes Maniacs, and once again his strategy of, you know, taking it not easy, but he's always putting a lot of pressure on the people in front, but being a rather more careful driver has paid off handsomely. He is now in position number 2. He's on the virtual podium, and he is gaining massive points for his team. Position number 2 in our tournament actually gets 23 points, which will secure their lead at least for the next race. And then position number 3, it's their closest rivals. The number 2 team, it's the FlatOut Racers. It's Tom Brooks and the Koenigsegg in position number 3. So we have 3 different teams in the front, and the 3 front positions, which always makes for a good podium. Position number 4, it's the second of the Roaring Pipes Maniacs races, Ross Belfort. First time round here in the ETC, and he's doing a perfect job of it. And unfortunately, the time differences between these races are now quite huge. If I had to guess, I would say they're all about 10 seconds apart, judging from where we caught them on the track in our little rundown here. So Ross Belfort in 4. In position number 5, Christopher Larsson, the first of the blue flag racers. Everything looked so great for the blue flags, everything looked so great for GMT-DH, but they both had to suffer from problems in the pit. And now Christopher Larsson, the first of the blue flag racers, in position number 5. Position number 6, it's his teammate, Mikael Larsson. And if I see this correctly, he is about to unlap himself if he can get past the Degan racer in front of him. So all the drivers now should be 1 lap down. That's Mikko Korkiakowski, the sole surviving GMT-DH racer, in position number 7. He was the top qualifier of this race, so that earns his team 1 point already. And position number 7 earns them another 16 points, so 17 points for GMT-DH. And that should put them past Team GG, who only fielded one racer today, and that one racer is decidedly down at this moment. So if Mikko Korkiakowski can stick to position number 7, he should, or his team should be able to pass the Team GG in the overall standings. Still in position number 8, David Garcia for the Black Rebels. Another of the virtual Aston Martins here. And it looks as if he is either about to be lapped by the race leader, by none other than Degan racer Tor Qualman, or that is Lucas Degan himself, who is now past him, but I suppose it's rather Tor Qualman. Position number 9, Riccardo Conti, as we catch him here, going into the Esse de Baja. He is being lapped by Ross Balfour in the Roaring Pipes Maniacs Corvette. Going down now, the Rector Oposta. Riccardo Conti in the sole surviving burning tires. We lost, and there he has some trouble. He has some serious trouble, missed the break point. Now he has to go back. He is now actually on the NASCAR track, on the oval track. He has to go across the gravel and rejoin the track, but there is no car around, so that was easy to do. Well, Riccardo Conti, that was definitely not what he planned to do, leaving the oval and going into the infield. He missed his break point there. Now some trouble for him also in the Pinarino, and it looks as if Riccardo Conti has a problem either with his brakes or with his tires. With 23 minutes to go, it might be that already the second set of tires is starting to wear down. So, I think he had to drop one place in that maneuver. And yes, indeed he had, because in position number 9, we find the second of the FlatOut racers, Henk van der Moorden. He is doing a very, very steady race here. He cannot follow his teammate, Tom Eusbrooks, today. Doesn't quite have the pace that Tom has. Don't know if that's a problem here with the virtual car, if anything is wrong with the car, or if Tom is just simply that bit faster. But it's a steady race that Henk is driving, that Henk is doing here, Henk is playing here, and he is in position number 9, which should get the FlatOuts another amount of 14 points. And 14 points plus the ones that, the 21 that Tom Eusbrooks is going to get if he stays in position number 3, gets an overall of 35 points, which is fair enough. They will stay in contact with RPM and they will keep the tournament open till the very last race on Sunday. And Riccardo Conti leaving the pits here, as I predicted. Something was wrong there with his tires maybe, or maybe he just got a stop-and-go warning for one of the maneuvers that we saw. Maybe the marshals were hot on his heels, hot on his tracks, and maybe that was a stop-and-go. However, he came out of the pits, he dropped down one place overall to position number 10, but he's now back in the race. And remember, we lost Massimo Dalla Palaguina even before the race started, which was of course quite a shock here for the Burning Tires team. Something must have been wrong with his connection or with his PC, and so he's the sole survivor for the Burning Tires in position number 10, Riccardo Conti. Jose, it looks as if the drivers have taken their positions more or less for the last 20 minutes. Do you expect any more serious changes in the overall positions here on the track for the last 20 minutes? What is your opinion?
Well, it seems that the distance are important between drivers, and I think only tire problems or something like that can really make a difference in positions. But since that they all have problems with tires, so not sure. I can see that Ricardo Conti and Xavier Sampedro are pretty close. Maybe there we can have a battle.
Yeah, you're right. I just checked that here, and in fact, Xavier Sampedro, who you can see just behind Ricardo Conti, is racing for position. He is in 11 and Conti is in 10. And since Conti still seems to be struggling with his tires, I suppose it was a stop and go that we just saw. He was also in the pits for a very short time, if I'm not mistaken. And he is now battling for position 10 with Xavier Sampedro, the second of the Black Rebels races. Conti and Stan now out on the front and start and finish straight, across the finish line. And now into the brake zone, into Essens de Baja. And out again on the next straight. Now approaching the break point where he lost it a few seconds ago, a few minutes ago at this point. This time it worked perfectly. Very nice line here by him. And now into the infield. Up the hill, now shifting down, 5th, 4th, 3rd, 2nd. Don't know if he actually goes down to 1st. I think that's really up to the drivers at this point, if you stay in 2nd or go down to 1st. Now we have a little straight and then very quick left and then right again. Very difficult to keep the balance. Watch it. Of the cars here, they always try to, your rear end tries to overtake you at that point. Now braking into the last turn. Perfect line here, just a little on the curves. That shouldn't hurt at all. And then out. That was a nearly perfect, picture perfect lap there by Ricardo Conti. So I'm not quite sure if maybe he's actually out on fresh tires. Maybe he was on a 2 pit stop strategy, or maybe he just found his rhythm again after a stop and go. We might have him up in the interview at the end of the race and find out what was going on here. Ricardo Conti in 10. Yes, Jose.
Yeah, I have the audience asked me about what's happening with Mikko. That he had the pole position and then he had to make all the way up the grid. Where is? Do you know where is him and what's he doing now?
Well, I'm following him here right now at position number 7 he is, Mikko Korkiakoski. I think he's down 1 lap actually to the race leaders, and at this point he is following David Garcia, and David Garcia is in 8, and he is racing in front of Mikko Korkiakoski, so that's almost a whole lap between the two. The car you see in front here, the yellow and white racer, that's the Black Rebels racer of David Garcia, that's position number 8, and the car following and about to lap David Garcia is 7th positioned Mikko Korkiakoski. Yeah, we had Panu on the interview earlier, didn't we? And he said that Mikko just stood at the start and didn't move at all. And I don't know if something was wrong with his gears or if he didn't quite see the signal or anything, but he lost 12, 13, maybe 14 places there. Now he's past Garcia, and Garcia, of course, not putting up any struggle at all. He gets the blue flags and lets Mikko past. So he's in position 7, which is fair enough after such an awful start, but I mean, being the pole position man, he must be a bit sad about what went on here.
Yeah, I'm really curious about what happened to him at the beginning of the race. Maybe he went out the track. Not sure.
Yeah, neither am I. Neither am I. So, with quarter of an hour to go, Tor Qualman for Degan Racing still up there in front, and that would mean if he can stick to the front position, and at this point it looks as if he certainly can. Just now in the back we saw Christopher Aponte there. The distance should be something like 10 to 15 seconds between the two, so if Qualman doesn't have any problems on his virtual Audi, he should be fine. And that would put a new winner on the podium, somebody who hasn't won a race before in the ETC, and how can he if he never participated before, if Degan never fielded him before. Let's have a quick rundown here of who actually won the races in the GT Pro competition this season. And we started off the season at Nürburgring GP, and it was David Greco for the Black Rebels, who was in position number 1, followed by Joey Vinari for the Roaring Pipes Maniacs, and Mike Simeon for Team FlatOut. The next race on the agenda was Magny-Cours in France, and again it was David Greco securing a victory for the Black Rebels, followed again by a Roaring Pipes Maniacs car, and it was Christopher Aponte who was second, just as he is today. Simon Bode for Degan Racing team came up in third. Then we went to Anderstorp in Sweden, and this saw the beginning of GMT-DH Racing being successful in this tournament, because they won, Robin Taylor. And it was actually a double win for them, 1-2, because Ries Notenboom, the second GMT racer, finished second, and then Christopher Larsson secured position number 3 for Blue Flag Racing. And then we went to the Degan Grand Prix at Donington Park, and here it was the Black Rebels again, and it was Ben Buitendijk, the team founder actually, who secured his first ever victory in a tournament race, he said in the interview afterwards. And Damien Danhumain for GMT-DH came in second, and Tom Ilsbrooks for FlatOut came in third. And the last race was at Hockenheim, and it was a FlatOut racer who won. It was Mike Simeon who won there, followed by Ries Notenboom in the GMT-DH Racing, and then Joey Vinari for the Roaring Pipes Maniacs. So all in all, 6 races, and it looks as if we have 5 different winners. What does that tell us about the tournament, Jose?
Yeah,
I think there he is. Sorry, I thought I had lost you there for a second. I thought you had maybe gone somewhere, get some fish and chips or anything. I don't know what they eat up here in Brazil.
No, I was checking if there was any battle in the track, but it seems that everything is really calm now.
Okay, so let me ask you my question again. We have, it looks, if Tor Qualman can pull this off, and why shouldn't he? It looks as if we have 5 different race winners in 6 races. What do you make of that?
Well, I think considering how the tournament is a team tournament, where the drivers are supposed to change a lot, I think it's quite expected, and it's a good signal of for the tournament that it's really being a team tournament.
Yeah, I agree. Even that little push there by Qualman against the GG Lister. I think a little disagreement there about the brake zone and about lapping and being lapped, but it looks as if the GG Lister can continue the race, and what's even better that Tor Qualman, the race leader, can continue his race at this point. Yeah, I agree with you on that one. Yes, please.
Your teammate Christopher Larsson is really close to Ross Balfour from RPM.
Well, let's not keep that a secret from our viewers. Let's move to position number 4 and 5. And as you said, Christopher Larsson hot on the heels of Ross Balfour. Now let's see if age actually plays a role in these 90 minutes races. Those of you who didn't know so far, Ross Balfour is probably the youngest racer that we had in the EDC so far, and hats off to him. He's doing a perfect race here, showing a very mature race indeed in the Roaring Pipes Maniacs fielded car here. And Christopher Larsson, on the other hand, I think a much more experienced racer, following him, and I know that Christopher can put a lot of pressure on the driver in front, and let's hear how Ross copes with that. They have 8 minutes to go, which should be something like 6 to 7 laps, and so Christopher, if he's careful, can maybe find a chance to pass in these last laps, but Ross, if he can keep his position, of course that will be perfect for him. First race here in the ETC, and racing in position number 4 with something as difficult and, from my view, awful to handle as the Corvette. That is quite a feat. Well done, young man. Well, running a bit wide here, going into the infield. Then that's Christopher Larsson coming on. As we follow them for a lap, let's see where both of the drivers have their good points and their bad points. Of course, Larsson closing in here in the run-up to the Pinarino, and then moving out of the very close turn. Of course, Balfour pulls away a little. Balfour taking a very conservative line here, and Larsson is very, very, very close. Very close. He's in the slipstream. He is in the slipstream as they go down the line. He's trying to move out, but it looks as if the Corvette has a slightly higher end speed. It looks as if the Corvette... And now Balfour misses his brake point. He misses his brake point. That's why he could stay in front, but... a bit of a problem for him here. He comes back on, and now he is very close to Christopher Larsson. Now the tides have turned. Now let's see if he tries to attack as they go into the infield. He doesn't have a chance at this point, but I suppose we will see an attack by Balfour in the next, let's say, 1 or 2 laps. He's already very close now. He's trying to move in. He touches Larsson. Larsson turns. Balfour waits. That is, of course, the gentleman thing to do. Well done, Ross Balfour. Sorry there for that little touch, Mr. Larsson. Now they're back on the track. They're back on the track in the same position that they were before. Larsson in front, Balfour following him closely. Let's hope that both cars did not sustain any damage in that little touch there. It looks as if both are struggling on very, very worn out tires. Going into the turns, they both look kind of shaky. Now they approach the break point. And Larsson, a slightly defensive line I would call it, moving into the turn pretty early. Balfour didn't try to do anything there. Balfour still following Larsson. Let's see how they behave in the infield. It seems as if the Corvette had a bit of an advantage there in the slower turns. Balfour still very, very close behind Christopher Larsson. And incidentally, while we watch these two, there's another battle going on, which is not really a battle, but Christopher Aponte in 2 is followed very closely by Mikael Larsson in 6. But let's not forget that Aponte is a lap up on Mikael Larsson, so that is not really a battle. It's just that the cars are very close. So we have two Roaring Pipes Maniacs, blue flag teams, pairs going around the circuit at this point. And in the back there we see what I think is Xavier Sampedro. In the walls we saw a Black Rebels racer there. And indeed, it was Xavier Sampedro we saw in the walls, and it might be that this is the end of the race for him. But here we are with Christopher Larsson and Ross Belfort. Belfort now extremely close, and Larsson has trouble getting out of the Aswell de Baja. Now going down the back straight. Larsson is defending all the way. He's making his Aston as wide as possible. Belfort, commendable driving by him, holding back, not trying to make that very small mistake that he made before, pushing Larsson again. I think he's being extra careful now. Look at his line in this turn. He certainly is careful. Now getting out of the turn again, down the straight into Essa de Alta. The Degan racer that they are now approaching is, I believe, Lucas Degan, who is several laps down. So I don't think it will be any problem for both of them to get past him. And Belfort tries to make a move. He tries to make a move as they try to get past the Degan racer, and Belfort seems to have misjudged the situation. That was a very optimistic move by him. He is now, well, not out of the race, but that gave Christopher Larsson some breathing space. He is now a little bit ahead. Belfort obviously trying to take advantage of the situation at the end of the straight there, as Christopher Larsson did not quite know whether he could move out and get past Lucas Degan, or whether Degan would let him pass maybe at the end of that chicane there, Aswell de Baja. And then Belfort moved in on the inside, and it looks as if he missed his brake point a little and went wide a little, and that put Christopher Larsson, well, he was not out of 4, but it now has put him more securely into 4. And now Christopher Larsson. Yes, sorry, Jose.
Yeah, I think the race is about to finish. Maybe we can go to the top of the pack.
Of course, by all means. I think also on my watch we should have maybe 1 or 2 laps left here in the race. So let's go back to the race leader. And that is none other than Tor Qualman, who is now going down the start and finish straight. And if I'm not mistaken, Christopher Aponte is in striking distance. So he must have gained a little on Qualman. Look at this. Aponte is really close there. Aponte is really close, and the two cars you see behind them are lapped. They are the GMT-DH racer and the blue flag racer. Who's that? That's Mikael Larsson. And Tor Qualman going now into Entrada de Moyo. And Christopher Aponte is getting very, very close to him. Maybe we see an attack by Aponte even as the race is about to finish, even as they only have another minute or 2 on my lap. Sorry, on my watch, on my lap. And they're about to lap Xavier Sampedro in the Black Rebels racer, but he moves on the inside very, very slowly, so everybody can get past without any problems at all. Qualman, some little problems there in the last turn for him. He probably lost some speed. Let's see if Aponte can take more speed out on the straight. Aponte a little slide as he goes onto the straight. That, of course, also is a problem for him. And what's that? A massive crash there. A massive crash on the start and finish straight. He went into Lucas Degan, his teammate, Tor Qualman. Was that already the end of the race? Because on my screen it still shows that he is in position number 1. What happened there?
Yeah, I think it was the end of the race, probably. And,
what a crazy end! Yes, I'm on the results screen, and Aponte was up to, dig this, he was up to 0.165 seconds after 70 laps, and he crashed into his teammate. He crashed into his boss actually, who was up there on the front straight. Possibly not knowing what was going on behind him. What a crazy end to a race. Tom Ilsbrooks has finished the race in position number 3, 30 seconds away from the race leader. Christopher Larsson in 4 has right now finished the race, a bare half second in front of Ross Belfort in 5. Mikko Korkiakowski in 6 is the first of the racers who was a lap down. In 7, Mikael Larsson, a lap down. David Garcia, 2 laps down. In 8, in 9, Henk van der Muyden, the second flat-out racer, another 2 laps down. And then Xavier Sampedro, 5 laps down in position number, 10. And then Lucas Degan, it says here, crashed, another lap down. In 11, Laurent Michelis should still be on the track. Hasn't got a result so far, but he is 12 laps down at this point. And so that means that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 racers have actually finished this race. Yes, now he's actually finished the race. Laurent Michelis, 11 laps down. We have a very strange end to this race, a very close end, only 0.165. And let's hope we can get Tor Qualman here for an interview of what happened there as he approached the start and finish line for the final time. What happened to him and what happened to his teammate Lucas Degan on the start and finish straight. What an end to a race, my friends. That was amazing. So while we're waiting for our interview partners, I'm doing some maths here. I'm trying to figure out how many points the teams get. Well, let's start with Degan Racing then, and their points. They had 117 points before the race. They earn 12 points for Lucas Degan, that's 129, and they earn for Tor Qualman's first place position 25 points. That's 129, 154 points for them overall. Let's see if we can still get anyone in here for an interview. Jose, are you with me, and have you got an interview partner for me? Quite possibly Tor Qualman if we can get him, and maybe also Christopher Aponte. So while Jose is busy, let's figure out how many points the Roaring Pipes Maniacs have. They started out with 329 points at the top of the table. Christopher Aponte's second place should get them another 23. And Ross Belfort, if I remember correctly, finished in 5th, which would be another 18 points. So that means that they have 370 points going out of this race. Now let's check out the FlatOut points. They had 318 going into the race. They picked up position number 3 today from Tom Ilsbrooks, which should give them another 21. And then Henk van der Muyden if I am not quite mistaken, I think he finished in 9. It's a bit of a shame because I don't have a results screen here that is still definite because some of the drivers have already left the grid. But I think he was somewhere in position 9, so that should be 14 points for him.
Eckhart, sorry.
Yes.
You have Thor Qualman, I hope, and for sure you have Christopher Aponte with you, and Tom is coming.
Oh, brilliant. Well, Christopher, first of all, over to you. Congratulations on a second place. That was a very good result. Can you tell us what happened there on the final lap as you went down towards the finish line?
Yeah, Kurt, well, let's just say I was a bit, how do I say, my mind was somewhere else at the time, and so I could not brake in time, so I crashed 2 times.
Okay. Okay, you crashed on the very last. And we saw a massive crash of the 2 yellow cars. Could you figure out what happened there?
You there, Lucas?
Thor.
Hello, who's this talking? Is that Tor?
Yes.
Okay, Tor, can you tell us what happened in the very last seconds of the race?
Oh, sorry, I forgot to turn on my microphone.
Oh, never mind. Now you're with us. Tor, is that you?
Hi.
Hi. So what happened there on this at the finish of the race? We saw a yellow car flying through the air, and we saw on the results screen that Tor Qualman finished 0.1 seconds in front of Christopher Aponte. What on earth was going on there?
Yeah, that was. I thought that Lucas was going in the middle of the track, so I could go inside just for fun. But that was quite stupid of me because he didn't win in the middle of the track. So I just went right into his back and flew almost over him.
Oh my goodness, it could have almost cost you the race, couldn't it? If this had happened like 20 virtual meters before, you would have lost the race, or you would have lost the first position, wouldn't you?
Yeah. So that was quite stupid of me. I'm sorry for that, but I didn't use my head there.
It gave us a very spectacular finish. Christopher, what about you? Did you actually see that to your right-hand side, that there was yellow cars flying through the virtual air?
Yeah, I actually saw it. I was like, oh my god, he's almost not gonna make it, or he's not gonna make it, so I thought maybe, but he was lucky enough to reach the finish line, so congrats to Tom.
Yeah, I think it's the first time we saw in ETC a car actually flying into the finish. I think we all have to watch the replay for that, and it'll make a perfect cut for a little movie about the ETC. Yeah, possibly. It might be the picture of the season, so to speak. So, Tori, you're new to the tournament, aren't you? Have you joined Degan just recently, or why haven't we seen your face here before?
I'm driving the Danish Championship in race 07, and then I decided, when we only have races every third of a week, and when you go to a public server, you just meet all these guys who is bumping into each other. So I decided to join a team or join another community to have some other race with other guys.
Okay, that's how you joined Degan. Yeah, so you joined them kind of in the middle of the season, and then today was your first race. Well, very good move by Lucas there, getting you on the team. So will you also be running in the upcoming STC tournament?
I'm quite new, so I don't know anything about all those tournaments. But
yeah, I will see you in the Yeah, let me put you in the picture. It's basically the same kind of tournament. It's just the next one, right? We're one race away from the finish of this tournament, and then we have a little break. And I think about 4 or 5 weeks later, we start off with the next one. It's called the STC, the Simracing Team Challenge, and so we'll possibly see you around then.
Yeah, I hope so.
Oh, brilliant. Well, Christopher, second position for you, and I just figured out that you should have actually expanded your lead. Do you think you can still lose the tournament as a team?
It all depends on the hardware you have. That's all I can say, because it's been pretty strong this season. It's also been fun for me and the team. And but it's all down to the last race. So if my teammates perform well, or at least consistency, they will bring it home.
Oh, brilliant. Yes, if I figured this out correctly, you have 370 points at this time, and FlatOut have 353. So you are 17 points clear of them. That's quite a good lead, isn't it? Who's going to be racing on Sunday for the Roaring Pipes Maniacs?
If not mistaken, Kevin Usher and Yuri Geisen.
Oh, Yuri Geisen will be with us. Well, that's great news. And Team FlatOut, however, will definitely try to do their best there. I'm afraid the Black Rebels may have slipped a little in the standings, and also maybe Team GG and GMT-DH Racing. My team possibly is moving up a bit, but we also seem to have had some problems today. Okay, folks, I think that's it for today. Thank you, Tor, for joining us. Thank you, Christopher, for joining us. Congratulations to you two. And is Tom with us?
We have also Tom, the third in the.
Oh,
in the
brilliant, brilliant. Brilliant work, Jose. You've been busy in the pits. Poor racers. They possibly all sweated through after 90 minutes here. Tom, was it a difficult race today for you in Curitiba?
I only had one problem, that was lapping guys. I've been ran off 2 times, and at the end of the race I couldn't bother even anymore to fight for position, because then I would have pushed, and then I would have, really got past that guy really fast, and then I would have would have ran me off even more. So I just gave up and did laps.
Okay, so you just stayed behind there and taking position number 3 home for your team. I've done the calculations so far. Unfortunately, you have lost a bit because Henk van der Meulen maybe either had a problem or he couldn't quite follow the speed of the Roaring Pipes Maniacs. Will you be attacking in the very last race on Sunday? Will your team try to still make it to the top position?
Oh yeah, we will do our best, no problem. Henk had a problem at the start. He was there was an incident, no idea what happened. He was at the back right at the start. So, but he fought great back. He entered 9, so that's great. It's been fun, I like it, and okay, if we end in second, no problem.
Okay, so you will definitely try to do what you can. You have, if I'm not mistaken, 17 points still to catch up to the Roaring Pipes Maniacs. And which drivers will you be fielding on Sunday? Who will be on the track for your team in the GT Sports? Have you got any idea?
Yeah, it will be Rickert Norgan and it will be Rolf Heiden. Both consistent guys, so that's nice.
Yeah, well, so that'll be a huge battle there. Let me tell you that the Roaring Pipes Maniacs are going to be fielding Kevin Usher, and I already forgot who they fielded second. Jose, do you remember who the second Roaring? Yuri Geisen, exactly. So they have 2 very strong racers too. That'll be a very close race. Okay, Tom, congratulations, podium finish again for you, and let's hope that we have another great race on Sunday. Bye-bye for now.
Thanks, mate.
Bye.
Bye.
Eckhart,
Yes, Jose.
our sporting director David Garcia wants to say some words, because it seems that we have really big problems today with blue flags, and I'm not talking about your team. I'm talking about the blue flags. So
Okay, David, go on. What do you have to say about the blue flags? Not the team, but the process of being lapped. Tell us.
Well, good night, folks. Not only about the blue flags is the matter I would like to talk about, but well, after watch some things I didn't like in the race, I have to make some announcements for next season. The most important one is that, well, we will not allow cars with extra lag. We all know that maybe the server can work a bit better or a bit worse, but when a car has a lot of lag, we will not allow him to race next season. Also, we will ask for a minimum driving skills, or you know, today I know there's a lot of people pissed off because the blue flags and the time to lap another cars and have been shaming him. We will put some extra rules for next season.
Oh, that seems like a good idea, because in 90-minute races, blue flags are part of the system, aren't they? I mean, we usually have something like 5 to 7 racers who are really way beyond out there in front, and then we have another 5 to 7 who are somewhere in the middle, and 5 to 7 who are battling it out in the back, and usually there are something like 4 laps between all of them. And Curitiba is not a very long track, isn't it? So we had many lapping maneuvers today.
Yeah, exactly.
All right,
say
David,
something about that?
Yes, say something about it.
I was, well, at the start everything went wrong. An accident caught me, so I was back one lap, after one lap already. I tried to delap myself, but the problem with the blue flags is, as soon as you pass someone, you get the warning, blue flag. And the second warning, third warning, you can't really delap yourself that way. So actually my race was ruined, and after a few of those warnings I just dropped back and let everybody pass me who was a lap ahead.
Well, that's too bad. Does it actually happen in with the game engine that if you get your third blue flag warning and you don't follow it, do you get disqualified or anything?
I think so, yes.
Oh, that's too bad. So that means if you can't get away very quickly, and so that the car that you have just unlapped yourself from is not supposed to be close, then you really have no chance to unlap yourself other than maybe hoping that the guy goes into the pits or something.
Yep, and as I know I'm a bad starter, I always try to qualify with nearly full tank of gas. So my lap times in quali are usually my lap times in race. So in race I'm usually quicker. But this race was just hell, because I couldn't delap myself.
Yeah, oh, that's awful. That sounds like something from a play by Samuel Beckett, or a bizarre situation where you are caught, and like a catch-22 situation, really, isn't it? Where everything you try works against you, and you can't really get out. That's a shame to hear, especially on, as I said, a short track like this one, where there's many lapping maneuvers going on. Oh dear. Well. But unfortunately, that's something we can't do anything against, can't we? Because it's the game engine, isn't it?
Yep, don't crash in the future.
Very sound advice to follow. Also, we had some drivers here having huge problems in the pits, didn't we? We saw one of the ANI racers who couldn't get his front splitter back on. Jose said that maybe the truck with all the splitters got lost somewhere along the way, and that also is a problem. That really you can lose a splitter, it happens, but if you don't get a new one in the pit, your whole race is messed up, isn't it? Okay, Simon's on the other side. I think, folks, that's it for tonight. Jose, anything we need to tell the people out there, or should we close shop?
I think we can say goodbye until Sunday, Eckhart.
Yes, I think we should tell people when to be online for the next broadcast. In Central European time, when will we be online? When will we show the race on Sunday morning?
I think we will start at a quarter to 11.
Quarter to 11, folks, you've heard it. Be with us, and I hope you can join us then, and I hope we see a great finish to the season of the European Team Challenge, the ETC. The Rolling Pipes Maniacs in front, FlatOut Club still trying to catch them, and let's see how this plays out. This was your friendly voice, Eckhart von Glan, with the help, of course, of Jose Estrada, who put the pictures on your screen, and of all the racers who participated in the race. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
One little tip, can we